Hello, friends. Today's episode is brought to you by From Within Records. Tomorrow, The Gods That Built Tomorrow will be available for pre-order and streaming. So please support Envision. They're an amazing band, and I look forward to seeing them flourish even more in the future. They're about to hit the road, but they're actually traveling overseas with Magnitude, which is awesome. I'm so happy for them to be able to get international and play some places that they have not been before. So please, everybody, support From Within Records, support Envision, and go pre-order and stream The Gods That Built Tomorrow. If you're not subscribed to Dudes Doing Movies or the From Within Records podcast, please boot up your Apple Podcast, Spotify, and click subscribe and support the From Within Records podcast network. Strike Force, a new zine coming out very soon. If you're not following From Within Records on social media, please boot up your Twitter, your Instagram, and click that follow button to stay up to date on all the current news. And like I always say, please support From Within Records because they support us. And if you're looking for high quality merch for your band, for your business, please hit up my friends over at Good Fortune Printing out of Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. You can follow them on Instagram at Good Fortune Printing. Or if you want to get in contact with them, please email them, contact@goodfortuneprinting.com. Before we get into today's guest, tomorrow I will be going to the Wiltern Theater to see NMIX, their showcase. This is the first time that they're doing something solo in America, because the only times they've come, it's been at KCON, if I remember correctly. But I got this special sign made that I want to show all of you. So give me 1 second. And it's so ridiculous. And for anyone who is an NMIX fan, you will know this image. So we are going to the Wiltern Theater as I try to plug my headphones back in. And I don't know the proper sizing, but I think this should be legal to bring in. Hopefully nobody freaks out with me. This is Bay, this is Haywan. They did a V Live and they were just hilarious. So this is an iconic image for anyone who's an NMIX fan. You know this image, and I hope to see all of you there. It's gonna be fun and I'm gonna enjoy it, but it's gonna be a long day because go to NMIX. Spoiler that I'm driving to Palm Springs right after. But May 5th is the big day for music, because like I already said, Envision, The Gods That Built Tomorrow is up for pre-order and streaming, but also Drain, Living Proof. Support that band. They're taking over the world, and I could not be any more happier for them. So please go buy the record, go stream the record, and support Drain. They're about to go on a full US tour. It's going to be amazing. But for today's guest, we had to track down our good friend Alex. He sings for a band called Spinebreaker. Their new record, Cavern of Inoculated Cognition, comes out tomorrow on Creator Destructor. And I'm so happy that they're back with new music. They're going to be more active. It's amazing because the Bay has a ton of good bands. But like I say in the episode, there's two bands that I've always wondered about their future. Spinebreaker was one of them, and then the other is Hands of God. So I'm happy to see Spinebreaker coming back, getting busy. This new record is awesome. I hope all of you were pleasantly surprised with the new single, and I hope all of you are looking forward to their future activities as much as I am. So please, tomorrow, go support Spinebreaker, go buy Cavern of Inoculated Cognition, go stream that record, tell all your friends who may not know about Spinebreaker, but they just released a new LP and it's amazing. So please strap in, enjoy this conversation. Without further ado, welcome Alex to the show.
recording. Welcome back to the podcast, Alex. How's it going?
Doing good.
It's been a minute. It
has been a minute.
Yeah, I'm happy to have you back on the podcast. Obviously, we're friends on social media, but we haven't talked in a long time. So I'm happy that you were down to come back on the podcast and give your time today. So thank you so much.
Of course.
Okay. Main reason why we're here. This episode drops on Thursday. New album for Spinebreaker comes out Friday. For me, I'm just so curious about where the band's been for so long. So it's been about 4 years, a little shy of 1 month. But I'm just so curious about what the band has been doing. Did you guys put the band on hold, or have you guys always been working behind the scenes since the 2019 promo?
Yeah. So, I mean, the promo was meant to put out this record.
Okay.
So, but we ended up going a different direction, and it ended up taking, decent chunk of time to get that going. Obviously, with Gulch and Tsunami kind of taking off a lot.
Taking over the world. That's crazy.
Taking over the world.
Yeah.
But, put this on the back burner. But, nothing's going to get in the way now.
Yeah, and I find that really interesting. Obviously, Gulch decided to hang it up. Tsunami's still going super strong, but I am happy that Spinebreaker is coming back out with a new record and still being a band, right? Because for the longest time, there's been two bands up there that I've had my eye on, wondering what's going on. Obviously, Spinebreaker was one of them, and the other one is Hands of God. So I'm happy at least Spinebreaker's coming out and doing stuff, and hopefully in the future, Hands of God will come back and put out a record. But for the past 4 years, have you just been writing for lyrics or staying active, thinking about the band? What have you been doing these past 4 years in terms of Spinebreaker?
I mean, for me, I wait for music to be written completely before I even start writing any lyrics. I come up with song titles and shit and premises and base lyrics off of that.
Mm-hmm.
But everything music wise is it's all waiting on Elliot.
Okay.
So when Elliot has songs written, he'll get with our drummer Brian. They jam it out a couple times here and there, and then they get in the studio, and then that's when my part comes in.
Okay, and I'm happy that after so many years of not being active, that same lineup, which is cool, right? Because a lot of bands switch out members, whatever shit happens, but for you guys to keep the same lineup, I think that's really awesome.
Yeah, we did add J-Nut from Dead Heat.
Oh wait, so you guys have 3 guitar players now?
So we have 3.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, because I'd seen him in some live photos, but I wasn't sure if he was just filling in. But that's awesome to hear that you guys added J-Nut, super talented guitar player. He's awesome. Yeah,
he wrote there. I mean, I didn't send it to you. I just realized that I forgot to send it to you.
It's okay.
But he wrote the solo in the last track on the album that I think is fucking incredible.
Okay, and the title of the record, obviously, it's kind of a long one, a Cavern of Inoculated Cognition. Where does that come from? Because I think it's really interesting, and I had to sit back and think about what those words actually mean.
So it's kind of like the depths of just this disturbed, corrupted mind, I don't know, plagued with mental illnesses and all kinds of things like that. Any kind of affliction that you could think of.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what's portrayed with the, kind of an alien looking cavern on the album cover with, some dead alien bodies and shit. There's a war going on in there.
Yeah. The cover's intense, right? I was looking at it and I was like, what the hell's going on? I have to kind of stare at it to try to, piece everything together. Whose idea was it, or where did that idea come from for that cover art?
That was mine. So I hit up the artist Brad Moore, the art wizard. Check him out on Instagram. And he's done some covers that I like. He did the Gatecreeper cover for Deserted, and he did one of the 2 Mold covers and a couple of the band Worm, their covers. And I've been into his work for a while, and I was hitting up a couple people, and then he hit me back with he had a pretty good price, and he had the perfect idea apparently for what I was going for with the album cover. And I just kind of told him loosely, all right, yeah, I really want there to be a cavern some aliens, some some weaponry kind of stuff, and yeah, he nailed it.
And I'm happy that you're still using the same logo, because I've always enjoyed the band's logo. So I'm hyped to see that return for the record.
Yeah, thank you. I've even tried to like kind of like rework it and see what I can do, but I don't think I could top it personally for our band's name at the moment.
Well, I think it's awesome. Leave it unchanged.
I will.
And this year, obviously, you guys have been way more active, than you have been. How has that been for you to get back to playing shows and getting out there in front of your local crowd? And I know you have a show coming up here in May in Oxnard.
It's been awesome. I mean, the scene, like especially in San Jose and the Bay Area, it's been crazy how a show that you'd think like maybe 5 years ago would do just, okay, this selling out like bigger venues. Like we played this brewery in it, and it was Death Grave's album release show. So it was mixed crowd, but it was packed out, like people still trying to get in at the end, and it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I think that was the video that I saw, because I watched a couple of your live sets, that one, and I watched the video of you guys playing Jag. So I thought it was cool to see so many people, be there and support your band. Yeah,
Jag was awesome. That was like one of my favorite shows that I've played.
Yeah, no, I love what they're doing up there, because I've always said that, when bands tour out west, the Pacific Northwest is a must, because they have an awesome scene. And I get that, it's far, whatever. Some people don't want to drive all the way up to their scene, but I highly suggest that people do, because the scene, the bands that they have up there, I think are awesome. And for them to be able to, because obviously Rainfest went away, but now they have Jag, and I think what Jag has done for like the first 3 installments, I think it's been awesome, and like it just gradually keeps getting better and better. So I'm happy that they're able to have something like that up there.
Yeah, I definitely hope to be back. The Northwest is one of those places that like bands used to skip, but like if you just didn't skip them, they always show you love no matter what. Like we've been inactive for years, but if we went out of town, we always went to the Northwest, and they pay us back every single time we go there.
Yeah, shout out to bands like Gag, Apex Predator. I feel like those are some of my favorite bands up there right now.
There's way too many bands to even name.
Yeah, and
I wouldn't want to leave anybody out.
Yeah, there's yeah. See, now you got me thinking, because there's this one band that dropped like a 3-song demo, I think like last year, and shit was crazy. Now I feel bad because I forgot their name, but I'll do it in post. I'll figure it out. But for you guys to come back, start playing more shows, like were you nervous at all, or was it just another day in the office for you?
Kind of another day in the office. Like we slowed down shows for sure, but we still played them. Like we still played Oakland, San Francisco, Berkeley, San Jose every once in a while. It's not like we took like all that time where there was no music coming out totally off, but it was just under the radar, because like most of those shows didn't get filmed, and they're not like big fests or stuff like that.
And do you guys have any plans to come down south? Because that's always my thing. I get a little greedy, because obviously you guys are coming down to Oxnard, and that's like a little more central. But for me, being in Orange County, Orange County, LA would be more ideal. So I'm curious, do you guys have any plans, with the record coming out, to travel out a bit and do more shows?
I don't think so. We do have some plans, but I don't think we have any directly in LA, Orange County, or anything like that right at this moment. Just the Oxnard show, and then we got to kind of figure out like a record release show and stuff like that before we start booking out of town after.
Okay, and ideally, where would you want to have your record release show, and who would you want on that bill, if you can speak about it?
It's hard to say. I don't want to say anybody right now, and then like then end up leaving them off or something like that.
Yeah, no, I get that. I put you on the spot a little bit, but yeah, you don't want to leave anybody out and have anybody feel a certain type of way. But no, I totally get it. But I'm surprised that that's not already in the books, because by the time this comes out, the record's 1 day away.
Yeah, the problem here is that we want to play a record release show in San Jose proper.
Okay,
like I mean, it wouldn't be the end of the world to just be in the Bay at somewhere, but San Jose proper is ideal. And there's a couple places that might be able to do it, but everything's kind of low key right now. So we've got to see how the next couple local shows start going before we put anything in stone. But I'll say for sure, we definitely want to put on for some of the younger hardcore bands in San Jose by we'll definitely be asking some of those younger guys.
Okay. And, I'm happy to see like the, growth in the scene because, years ago I've had on Joseph from Tsunami. Well, basically everybody in your band has been on the podcast except for the drummer, Brian. And I've always spoke to them about, it's hard to realize in real time what they're doing is legendary, but few years removed and you look back and see what they're doing, it's insane. So I think it's awesome that you guys are able to maintain this awesome scene up there in San Jose, the Bay Area, and still want to put on for the younger bands coming up and not just create a division in your local scene.
Yeah, we could easily just kind of ignore what's going on, but what's the point in that? Like that we're not the future of this scene. Like we've already been around, like Spinebreaker, Tsunami, Gulch, like all those bands have all been around already, and like they're not growing the scene anymore. Like it's just they're keeping eyes on it at this moment, but if there's not newer bands coming out, then like there's nothing in a couple, whatever 10 years from now, who's gonna be playing all the shows. Like I mean, I don't know that Tsunami or Spinebreaker or whoever are going to be at the same point of relevance. They could be, but that's a huge question mark. So you definitely need to have bands holding it down.
100%. And that's the right mentality, because I always say that the youth is a very important aspect of the scene, because we're here established, been around for a long time, but we can't be here forever. We can't be here supporting and keeping the scene alive forever. So we have to help develop this new crop, this next generation of hardcore, and put them on and help them or point them in the right direction so they can continue the legacy of what's going on, because scenes can die out. It's only happened before. It's not something that's impossible.
Exactly. Yeah, and we've got some young hungry bands out right now. So like, I don't know if you saw there's a band called Arbitrary that just dropped a little EP last night.
Okay. I've not had a chance.
That out. You should check that out. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I got to check it out, because obviously I saw that they worked with Charles Toshio, so I'm a huge fan of his, so I definitely want to check it out, because I know he's super talented at what he does.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he does good shit.
Okay. And it's nice to see that you guys are sticking with Creator Destructor. Can you talk about your relationship with them?
Yeah, so Ben, he's been running Creator Destructor for I don't even know how many years, probably close to 20 years now. And we've been working with him since just before Icegrave. And he's always been a solid dude to us. And nobody, when we were putting out Icegrave, I know now that submitting your demos and shit doesn't do anything, but
it's rare.
We submitted that shit everywhere. So I bet you there's millions of labels out there that have an email from me with Icegrave's demos on it and shit. But he was the only one that ever hit us up. So,
and I love that loyalty, right? Because you stick with the person that gave you an opportunity, and I get bands want to do bigger stuff. So maybe the label can't sustain what they're doing, but I really like the fact that you guys have stayed loyal and stayed with Creative Destructor, and it seems like it looks like it's a good pairing.
Yeah, we get along well. He understands like how we operate. Nothing's too serious. We're only going to do the things that we want to do, and we're not trying to be the biggest band in the world. We're not trying to make money. So it's we just want our records put out, and we want people to hear it. And he's willing to put our shit out on physical, vinyl, tapes, CDs, whatever we want. And that's really cool of him to give us that opportunity.
Yeah, and it's been 4 years since the promo, and I know you mentioned earlier that you guys went in a different direction. Are there any of those older tracks that are making it onto the new record?
So we only had that song, Cost of Innocent Life, at that time,
Mm-hmm.
and we were working on other songs. So we had that one done, and then obviously there's an agnostic front cover.
Mm-hmm.
So we had just done that to like kind of hold people over, but yeah, we just ended up just slacking off and not writing it, not putting it in the work. It just took years.
And how long was that process to create this new record? Because obviously there was a significant amount of time in between.
I mean, I forget which song it was, but there is a song on there that was written around that time.
Yeah.
For the most part. Hey, buddy. Sorry.
It's all good.
Yeah, there was a song on there that we'd been fleshing out and practicing here and there from that time, but it never truly got perfected or finished or anything like that. So I don't want to say it took 4 years. I mean, it did kind of take 4 years, but then the last like 5 songs aside from that one were all, within 3 months.
Mm-hmm. And can you describe the whole writing process? Like, how was it? Was it fun for you guys to finally get back into the studio? Because obviously, with the time in between, obviously they were busy with Gulch, but for you guys to all get back together and actually finally be able to work on a new Spinebreaker record.
Yeah, it's awesome to even like. I'm not too involved in the actual writing process. Like, we just kind of let Elliot do his thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when he gets in like an obsessive mood, he'll just like lock himself in his room and just fucking start riffing. But we, once he's in that, and I'm just getting videos of like what he's writing, I'm just like, fuck yeah, like this shit slaps. Like let's go.
Mm-hmm. You're like, all right, it's time.
Yeah, it's getting real. When he's sending certain shit.
Yeah, I love that sticker on the back of his guitar, which I don't know if how strongly he feels about that, but I'm so curious.
I honestly don't know how strongly he feels about that either. I don't know if it's totally a bit or if it's a little bit true, but who knows? Pretty
interesting. Okay, well, with the record coming out tomorrow, which is awesome, are you like relieved to finally have it out? Because the single's been out for a little bit, which is awesome, Spectral Forge, but with the record finally being out, is there like the sense of relief, or how are you feeling these days?
Yeah, definitely relieved that it's finally going to be out. If it was like, I mean, it is up to us, but if we just like wanted to do it exactly how we wanted to, we would have just probably dropped the whole thing without a single. But I know that I want more people to hear it, obviously, and throwing out a single there is really the only way to do it. But I'm not going to do the whole 2-song, 3-song singles, and then when we drop the record, there's only 2 more songs to listen to. So
yeah, I feel like you guys had a nice build up, right? The one single, like, hey, Spinebreaker is putting out a new record, and then it hasn't been that long. It's only been like a couple months, right?
For the single?
Yeah, from the single till now, yeah.
I think it came out at the beginning of last month.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really not that long.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like it for us.
Yeah, because you guys created that. I can't imagine how you guys are feeling. But now that it's finally going to be dropping, what are your ideal plans moving forward? Because I don't know if you want to have another long gap in between releases, or how busy you guys want to be with Spinebreaker.
Definitely not. I know me and Elliot have talked about just getting right back on it and just writing another little EP. Mm-hmm. Probably a short, quick, in your face EP. But hopefully, I mean, I would love to do that by the end of the year.
Yeah, because I feel like you guys I was talented, but I just felt like you guys could go as far as you wanted, right? So if you guys want to go hard with it, you guys could go really far with it. So I think if you guys want to do another EP by the end of the year, I think that would be awesome, because obviously there's going to be a lot of people paying attention again because you guys have this new record out now, and if you guys come back at the end of the year with something else new, I think that'd be really awesome.
Yeah, I do too. I think that I like being as busy as possible. When we first started, we were kind of we put out our demo, and then we were dropping singles kind of left and right. It felt like, compared to now, I'd love to get back to that and just just keep our set list fresh and keep people satisfied with the shit that we're putting out.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just California in general, but I feel like with hardcore, there's just like this big, like more metal influence going on these days. Because with you guys, and if you look at bands like Upon Stone, which is like very much tied to the hardcore scene, Dead Body, which I think is awesome. Can you talk about that? Is that something that you like or you want to see more of?
I would. That's the thing that people will call a hype, but it doesn't ever seem to die. And thankfully, because I love hearing that shit. Like you got the Twitching Tongues shirt in the background. Like that's one of like my biggest influences starting this band. And then like any of the metal influence stuff is like my jam. Upon Stone, that those are the homies, and Dead Body. Any young projects I'm down with. And I want to hear more of that shit. No matter like what, is it the thrash metal side? Is it the death metal side? More grindcore side? Fuck it, like let's hear it.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. And yeah, like I have this Twitching Tongue shirt here because obviously they just re-released the record, which I thought was awesome because I've always been a huge fan of Twitching Tongues. So for them to have been gone since just as long as you guys, I think their last set was like the LDB set in was it 2019 or maybe 2020? I can't remember.
I think that was 2019 because it was people were saying that was where COVID started.
But yeah, for them to have been gone, and like trust me, I've been trying to book Twitching Tongues like behind the scenes. Like I've bugged Colin so many times about it, but for them to actually be back and they were going to be playing Sound and Fury, I'm so happy because I always felt like they're one of the best bands out here. So for them to finally come back and they said they were going to put out a new LP, I'm just so stoked.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about going down to Sound and Fury just because I saw they were going to be on it.
Yo, you gotta support Big Boy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Big Boy.
Yeah, shout out to Big
Shout out
Boy.
Big Boy.
Yeah, I think they're coming down before Sound and Fury. They're doing a run because right now there's the Inland Empire is popping off. They're having like some sick ass shows, and I think it's like Big Boy, was it Natural Human Instinct, and somebody else.
Yeah.
Fuck, I forget the third band from up there that's coming down. But I'm like, okay, that's sick.
Condition One.
Yeah. That band's sick. So for those three bands to come down and play the Inland Empire, I'm like, okay, that's something that I can't miss. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing those three bands down here.
Hell yeah. Yeah, all those bands are fucking awesome.
Okay. And as far as you, what have you been up to these past 4 years? Are you still training at AKA?
I'm not at AKA right now.
Okay.
I stopped training for a bit, and then I started training again at another gym pretty recently. I got a pretty good deal on training there, and then Elliot started training there, and some other homies are there too. So, I'm not focused on fighting or anything anymore. So I'm just like kind of trying to help my homies get better, but without them getting better than me. You know what I mean?
Is it still just Muay Thai?
Yeah, just straight Muay Thai.
Okay, I think that's funny. You want to help them get better, but not better than you. Why is that?
I can't be lacking. I just can't. I can't let them get their. I can't let them keep getting their egos higher.
Okay.
Every once in a while, Elliot thinks he beats me in a round, and I just can't. I can't let it happen. I can't let that shit slide.
But if they get to that point where they reach your level, are you going to have to get back in there and get serious and advance?
I might have to take a fight against them. I don't know. We'll see.
That's wild. But how is it? Do you like training with your friends like that?
Oh yeah, because even through the whole pandemic, we all got together, and that was like kind of the one thing that like got us all hanging out and shit. Is we there's no gym, so we'd go meet up at like a football field at a high school or some shit like that, and just kick pads and kick each other. Have a good time doing that.
And as far as like MMA, are you still keeping up and watching it?
I've been keeping up a little bit. Like I forget what the Adesanya Herrera card is the last one I watched.
Okay, that's still pretty recent. That was the last pay-per-view.
Yeah, Yeah, I've really been only checking out like the big pay-per-views or maybe some of the bigger fight nights, but I haven't been keeping up like weekly like I used to.
Oh yeah, it gets rough because there's so many cards, and obviously with their contract with ESPN, they have to like fulfill so many cards. So not every card is going to be worth watching, as messed up as that sounds. So I can totally get that, because even me, right? I'm still a super fan, but I can't watch everything, because before I used to watch like early prelims till the end of the main card, but now it's like it's I found it that like most of the time it wasn't even worth investing into the early prelims, because the talent wasn't the same as it used to be back in the day. Because like you see some people coming up from the regional circuit on the early prelims are like, okay, this is somebody to keep an eye on. But now it's just like they're grabbing so many fighters just to fill these cards. It's just like to me, it's not worth it like it used to be. So now I just we'll pop in on the prelims. So I've kind of like cut out watching the early prelims these days.
Yeah, exactly. Like the putting the prelims on is kind of just like you're making dinner and you just have them on in the background. Otherwise I'm falling asleep before the main event starts. So
yeah, there's a huge pay-per-view this weekend, Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, which is crazy because obviously it's been 3 years since Cejudo relinquished his titles and retired. So I'm very curious to see what he looks like in his return.
Yeah, it feels like even longer than that.
Yeah,
3 years sounds. That seems like short, but I guess I'll take your word on that. That's crazy.
Yeah, because for him to be at the top of flyweight and bantamweight, and for him to walk away, and like for him to come back, like the whole sport is different, right? There's been so many different champions since he's been around, or since he left. But I'm happy that he came back. I really wish he would have never stepped away, but obviously he wanted more money, which I can't blame him for it. But I'm happy that he decided to come back. At this point, and it still doesn't feel like it's too late for him. I feel like he can still, make some waves at those divisions, and even maybe get that Volkanovski fight if he wins.
That would be a crazy fight.
Yeah,
either one, whoever wins, whoever ends up moving up, it'd be insane to watch that.
Yeah, because even Aljo, he's talking about his days at well, not even just his days at bantamweight, but just his days in MMA are numbered. So for him to want to move up before the end of his career, I think that would be pretty interesting, because he is a bigger bantamweight. So I would be really curious to see what he's like at featherweight. Yeah,
I'm always interested to hear or see what happens with some of these guys like that are at the smaller weight classes, especially when you hear like how much weight they're actually cutting. It's like, man, I would love to see you with like full strength, full energy. But then again, you saw like Max Holloway going up to 155 and it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, it's rare. It doesn't really work out for a lot of people that go up, right? Because like off the top of my head, it worked out for John Jones, obviously. Jan Blachowicz, he went up to light heavyweight, won the belt. But other than that, I can't really think. Because when Max went up, it was so it was so weird to watch how Dustin Poirier's punches affected him, because you're like, wow, is Dustin really that strong? Because when Dustin landed, it was a big difference versus when Max was landing punches on Dustin. So, and it wasn't like it was that much of a. It's not like he was getting totally washed. Like he was landing good shots. They just weren't hitting Dustin the way that they would hit someone in featherweight. Yeah. Which is really weird. I know there's been talks of maybe Max going up, since there's not a whole lot left for him at featherweight, and since Volk's still the champ, he's most likely not going to get a title shot anytime soon, and he just keeps beating these contenders, and so he's just kind of this really strong gatekeeper for Volkanovski, and it's a bummer because he's such a good fighter, but once he ran into Volk, it's just like that guy just had his number. Yeah, sometimes you got that, you just got that guy that's going to keep you right out of the talks. Like until he's out of the championship, until he's done holding the belt. Yeah, I don't see him in there. He might as well start kind of bulking up a little bit, and which who knows if he even needs to do, but start training like he's going to be a 155er. Yeah, just get ready to be able to absorb those heavy punches, because if Dustin was able to be that effective against him. There's a lot of people that are Dustin's size and even better than Dustin in that division that Max hasn't faced yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And Dustin could be considered one of the smaller guys in that division, I would think. Yeah.
Because remember, Dustin came up from 145. Remember, he had that stint. He lost to Conor McGregor and decided to move up weight class and had great success and still, I think, top 5 lightweight, but obviously just had some rough goes against Charles Oliveira. And, they're talking about giving him the Gaethje rematch next, even though he won that fight. But, talking about running it back, I think, as entertaining as that would be, I'm not too excited about them fighting again.
Yeah. Yeah. We kind of already saw it. I mean, it could go a whole different way if it was kind of a slugfest, right? But, it could go a whole different way. But I feel like they're kind of doing him wrong by giving him like contender shots instead of, because he hasn't fought what's his name?
Who you talking about?
Why am I forgetting his name? The 155 champ. Why am I forgetting his name?
Islam Makhachev.
Islam. He hasn't fought Islam, has he?
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Like I don't see why he wouldn't be next, or one of the next guys.
Yeah.
Who was Dustin's last fight?
It was
Chandler.
Was it Chandler? I thought it
wasn't Connor.
I thought it was Connor. Am I tripping? Hold on, let me look this up.
It might have been Connor.
Yeah, because I know he fought and then he had like really bad, he had like a really bad staph infection. Like he almost lost his leg.
That's right.
Oh no, you're right. It was Chandler.
It was Chandler.
Yeah, because he
that was a good fight.
Yeah,
good showing for him.
Yeah, because he beat Chandler because that was supposed to be like a title eliminator, but then Chandler decided to take the Ultimate Fighter, which I get, probably he gets to fight Connor, make more money, whatever. But that division is a little weird at the top. There's a lot of older guys that have been there for a while, so hopefully this new crop of people coming up, can start to get rid of some of those guys at the top that have been there for a while.
Yeah, they got a lot of talent at that division. Is that one dude from Kazakhstan? Is he 155er?
Which one?
I'm Shavkat Rakhmonov. Is that his name?
He's a welterweight. He's welterweight.
He's a welterweight. Oh, okay, I thought he's kind of a skinnier welterweight. So I was thinking he was but he's a tall guy.
Yeah, that guy's fucking awesome.
He's
impressive. His last fight against Jeff Neal was fucking badass, and it sucks.
As long as he can keep himself being overly cocky. It seemed like he started getting caught a little bit when he was showboating some of his techniques a little bit.
Yeah, he needs to, obviously at the top of that division, he needs to show a little more respect because anybody could get caught.
Yeah, just like Hamzat. I mean, Hamzat learned that lesson against Gilbert. So.
God, I don't like that guy.
You don't like Hamzat?
No, he's talented, but it's when we saw him fight somebody, at the top of the division against Gilbert, he wasn't as impressive, right? But against all these people in the middle of the division, he looks amazing. But I feel like once he gets I don't know if he'll make it to. He moved up to 185, so who knows if he'll get to Israel or who else he can get up there, because I would like to see him fight like Robert Whitaker, but he's already pretty sure he's booked against that DDP guy, so I'm really curious to see who they would give Khamzat next at middleweight.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they put him against Izzy, to be honest.
Because
I hope they don't do that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, because everybody at the top is booked. Sean Strickland's booked. He's fighting. Who's he fighting? He just accepted a fight against. I forget who he's fighting, but he's fighting somebody. And then Gilbert and Bilal Muhammad just accepted a fight. They're fighting. I think this week, and then Robert Whitaker and DDP are fighting. So yeah, there's really nobody at the top for Izzy at this moment, which is crazy because he's beat most of those people except for DDP. He hasn't fought him, but he's beat everybody else in the top 5, which is crazy.
Yeah. That's why I kind of feel like it was kind of bullshit that they that they just give Herrera the title shot even in the first place. You know, he goes in and he beats like how many people did he beat? He beat 2 strikers and then got the title shot.
I think he won
and
3
Izzy
fights.
had to clear out.
Yeah.
Okay, but they're all strikers.
Mm-hmm.
Izzy had to clear out a whole division of wrestlers.
Yeah.
To get to the title, and then but he got it back. He got it back.
Yeah, that first MMA fight when Izzy lost in the 5th round, I was just like, what the heck is going on? Because obviously he had to fight cautious because of Herrera's power. So I understand the way that he fought. But when he got caught at the end of the 5th, I was just floored. I was like, this sucks. I can't believe that happened. But I'm happy that he finished it the way that he did in the second MMA fight, because that was insane. I was freaking out.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, even if you watch the first kickboxing fight, I think it was the first one. That was a really close fight that probably could have gone to Izzy.
100%, yeah.
The one that went to decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was kind of a bad decision. And, I feel like, they've always been a really good matchup that somehow just his power just catches him every single time, it felt like. And it made that last fight super fucking scary, even just watching.
Yeah, because he was still taking those calf kicks, didn't really check anything. He was just letting them land, and that was a big problem in the first MMA fight. So I wasn't really sure, and also the time in between the first MMA fight to the second, like it's like how much could you really improve in that short amount of time? So so for it to go Izzy's way, I was really happy.
Yeah, I was surprised he didn't wrestle. Like I thought that was going to be his way to victory. Yeah, it was like for a brown belt, he looked like like he's never been on the ground before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%. And I was, I would have bet money that he was gonna try to bully him on the ground with wrestling, because Izzy obviously more seasoned with MMA grappling than Alex, but he just didn't go that route and just knocked him out, which was insane.
It was almost better to see. Just give me mini heart attack every second I watched it. But
yeah, and how do you feel about Izzy wanting to just close the chapter, not wanting to run it back? Because I would like for him to put a stamp on it, make it 2-1 in MMA if he were to win a rematch. But obviously they don't want to jam up the middleweight division anymore. But there's nobody else because everybody else is booked. So yeah. I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, it would kind of jam it up, but like there's really nothing there kind of isn't anything to jam up if you think about it. Like you were just saying, everybody's booked. So I mean the only one that's not booked is Hamzat, and I don't know. I wonder if it's Izzy's decision not to run it back, or if it's Herrera's decision, because he announced shortly after that he's going to 205, right? Yeah,
100%. But man, he'll do fine at 205, but I don't know if he will be the champ at 205, because there's some people at the top, like there's like that Alexander Rakic. That guy I think is a beast, and then even the champ Jamal Hill's good, and then I'm a huge fan of Anthony Smith, and then even Jiri, who relinquished the title because of his shoulder injury. Maybe he can come back and still be a beast. I don't know. So for Alex to go up there and fight people his size, right, versus beating up people that are smaller than him, it's gonna be really interesting to watch in the future.
Yeah, he was able to do it in Glory, so there's a chance he could do it there. But they also have very good wrestlers up at the top there.
Yeah,
and especially with ones that can match his strength.
Yeah, I would like to see him. I think it was my buddy Nate who suggested, like for his first fight at 205, they should give him Johnny Walker, which I was like, damn, that would be a crazy fight.
That would be a fucking crazy fight. Or Johnny Walker, though.
Yeah, but Johnny Walker was one of those fighters. He was still decent. Had a lot of hype when he was first entered into the division, but then obviously Corey Anderson beat him up, and then he just has had some losses. But I think it would be a crazy fight, but I wouldn't be mad at it if they did give it to him.
Yeah, I would like to see it, but I don't see it going Johnny Walker's way, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I feel like he'd want to stand and bang, and like Herrera just has too much power. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, he's got so much power, and he's super patient. Like he can just kind of withstand a lot of those storms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't want to get in a kickboxing match with Alex Pereira.
No.
Okay, and I'm curious about your podcast. Can you talk about what's going on with that? Is that still a thing?
It's not like it's not a thing, but we just haven't kept up with it.
Mm-hmm.
We've been trying to like figure out a way to to schedule it, like just to do it like this, like on a Zoom or a Skype or something like that, but just haven't followed up. One of our co-hosts, John, had a baby last year. I think he just turned 1 the other day.
Okay,
but yeah. So we used to record at his house, so it kind of threw a little wrench in it. But maybe we'll get back at it.
Yeah, I think that would be awesome, because for people like me who aren't well versed in horror movies and don't really have real direction, I just always rely on my friends or podcasts to kind of put me on to cool movies to watch.
Yeah, shit. Maybe I mean, thinking about it, like that's kind of like how I kept up with horror movies, is just doing the podcast. Like, I don't think since I've done the podcast, I don't think I've kept up with anything.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I do, like, I was before, I was religious horror watcher, but I just haven't kept up or gone out of my way for anything in a while.
I was about to ask you for some recommendations, because obviously I knew that you did the podcast and you're way more knowledgeable with it than me. So I was like, all right, let me see if he has some good recommendations, because I can't remember the last horror movie I watched, if I'm being honest. Yeah,
these days I'm out of the loop. Like, even if I did, I just can't off the top of my head. I can't think of anything. I mean, I'm sure you watched Barbarian.
Yes. Yeah. I did watch that one. That was awesome.
I've definitely kept up with like the ones like obviously that obvious hype on them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that I've watched that's recent at all.
All right, I think this is the point where, all right, the podcast needs to get back together. We need to figure this out.
I know. We need to get a little reunion. Yeah, I was talking to Devin the other day. We went and saw Carcass together.
Okay.
We were talking about it, like, damn, maybe we should just like do a podcast where it's not even like necessarily horror based,
mm-hmm.
but like that shit would probably end up coming up anyway.
Yeah,
we'll just be bullshitting.
It's just an excuse to get together, right? Now you're going to do it anyways. They're your friends. So just
exactly.
Yeah, just be like, all right, we're going to hit record and just record the conversation we're going to have anyways. And yeah, it doesn't have to be horror focused, but obviously just tie it in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it would definitely, because that's like one of our big relations as friends. So
mm-hmm.
that death metal and shit like that. So.
All right.
I feel like there isn't a lot of death metal in podcasts, so that could be something.
There you go. Yeah, just find your niche, and there's people out there that will listen to it. There's a fandom for everything.
Maybe I can get them to like karate in the pit.
I don't know about that. That's going to be a little challenging. I always find it a little offensive when I see those kinds of shirts. No karate in the pit, obviously, because I come from the hardcore scene, and I kind of stumbled onto metal and death metal along the way. So I always think those shirts are funny. I don't get too pressed about it, but whenever I see those, I'm like, man, it's not that crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if the bands like. I bet you Dying Fetus would be stoked as shit if like their pit was just people beating the shit out of each other.
Mm-hmm.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, and and sometimes I think people look at it. Obviously, it is violent. It does look crazier than it probably actually is, but it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Yeah,
I think that the videos people see are always what turn people off. Like I saw our viral. I think it was from the IE. There was a viral video that's going around of someone that we probably both know.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Very, very cringe, and that's like the shit that people see, and they're like, "Oh, no karate in the pit,"
Yeah, it's hard. And then when you
if I was there,
when you think about also like videos like Speed from Sound and Fury going viral, and people just a lot of outsiders looking in, people that don't understand what hardcore is, or the environment, it looks so crazy. Why would people want to be there and experience that? In all reality, it's way more controlled and way more organized than people actually really understand.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to avoid. Like I try to tell people who are scared to go to their first show, like that's not the whole venue isn't just fighting each other. That just would never work.
Yeah, I was watching the video of you guys at the brewery, and there's this girl holding a drink, and I was like, for sure that drink's getting knocked out of her hand, and people were crashing into her. She managed to hold that drink like it was nothing. So I was just like, you just got to know where to be, and just be aware of your surroundings, and you'll be fine.
I know. Apparently, being on the stage doesn't make you safe though, because I thought somebody ripped my fucking knee apart in the middle of that shit. Somebody got knocked into me.
That's scary. That's like my biggest fear. That's like the one injury that I would never want to go through, is getting my knee destroyed.
I know. Like I felt it kind of go sideways.
Oh.
And I felt a little bit, and then I was like, oh no, fuck no. Please let me walk. And luckily I did. That was fine. But it was pretty annoying at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, but shit happens. But just be aware. It's not that dangerous. So you'll catch a stray sometimes. Shit, it gets dark with weird lighting. But for the most part, as long as you're aware, you'll be fine.
Yeah, we've all been through it. We've all got our teeth right.
Yeah.
I've lost both of my front teeth, but
this one, my left one is fake. Which I don't think
my left one is fake too.
Yeah. I've noticed that on the podcast, but that's a fake tooth. Yeah, it's like,
I want to shout out Jared from Forced to Suffer. Thank you.
Shout out Jared. But shit happens. I've got spin kicks to the face. I think the worst is like getting people stage diving on top of you. I think is like the worst thing. That shit hurts more than I think.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Because you just don't even see it. Like you somehow it's like. In the videos, it's like the most obvious thing. Why wouldn't you see it coming?
Mm-hmm.
When you're actually under those people, it's like you turn and they're in your face already.
Yeah, and for me, I always wear like a hat or a beanie and my glasses. And like when my hat goes one way, the beanie or my glasses go the other. I'm like, fuck. Like, all right, I gotta prioritize my glasses. Obviously, then hopefully I can find my hat that I like, because that's why I wore it. So. Shit can get hectic, but it's all part of the fun, right? That's why we're there. That's why we choose to be in the pit, because if not, I would just stand at the back or just stay outside,
And that's why we continue to play hardcore shows, because I love that shit so much.
Yeah, the energy has never gone stale for me for as long as I've been going to shows. It's something that it's like you can't replicate it.
No, because I mean and like take it from me, like we've played plenty of metal shows, like strictly metal crowd,
and
it's not nearly as fun. Like maybe for the band members, but not for me. Like for me, I'm trying to keep energy up and shit, and then you might even like in a video, you might even see my energy levels just totally just drop like towards the end. I'm like, okay, I can't get these guys to do anything, so I'll just grab the mic stand and stand here, I guess.
Yeah. Do you prefer to play like obviously the hardcore shows over those kinds of shows? By
far, I love playing the metal shows just because like some of the bands that come through, like I really want to play with them and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely prefer playing two hardcore kids.
Yeah, because they bring the energy. They're the ones, because like I feel like they realize like it's like a part of the show to jump off stage to mosh, but maybe the metal kids don't really understand that they can do that. Like it's fine.
Yeah, and we write these riffs specifically for the like those kind of ridiculous activities. Like we write fight riffs on purpose, like we want motherfuckers to be swinging at each other and jumping off the stage, like fuck at just a gig or just another gig. People stage diving, like I love that shit. That shit's so awesome. It's so rare that we actually get to play on a stage where people can actually jump off of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, hopefully, with the new record being out, people realize like, all right, this band has been away for far too long. Let's give them everything that we got, because who knows.
Yeah, jump in my DMs.
Jump in his DMs, jump off stage, go crazy.
Yes, please. We encourage it, more than anything.
Okay. Well, I really do hope at some point you guys make it down to Orange County or LA, because I would love to see you guys down here, or maybe if my schedule lines up, I can go up to your record release, because that's something that to this day I still haven't done, right? Like I still have not been up to the Bay, to San Jose for a show. I was supposed to go to that Drain record release back in 2020, but that shit never happened. So I would love to go up there at some point, but before this is all said and done, I have to go up there and experience your guys'
You definitely do.
Yeah,
you definitely do. It's fucking awesome. I think you'll find it very similar to the scene down south.
Mm-hmm.
Especially right now. Maybe not, a couple years ago, maybe not, but now I think it would be pretty comparable. Especially like if the bigger bands like the Drains or Tsunami are playing.
Yeah, I need to see that band. God, why am I gonna mess up their name? Now I have to look it up, because I don't want to mix up the words and sound like an idiot. Because I've been bugging them. Summer Blue, been bugging them.
Oh, Summer Blue.
Yeah, been trying to book them. This is when I book shows. I retired from booking shows because I hate that shit. So shout out to everybody that can deal with that. But that's one band that I can't stop listening to from up there.
Yeah, Summer Blue is awesome. I listened to them like when that first EP dropped. I was listening to that on repeat for a while.
Yeah,
that's Matt from Natural Human Instinct. He's in that band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout out Matt.
That's Little Justin's brother.
Yeah, I ran into him down here in Orange County. I was walking out of this K barbecue place, and he was walking in with his girlfriend. And I didn't notice him because I'm at lunch. I didn't think I was going to know anybody there. So when I was leaving, and he called out my name, I'm like, oh shit, Matt. But this is not where I would expect to run into you. Like, what's up? So it was cool to see him down here. But yeah, I love that band, and I hope to see them at some point.
Oh yeah, I think are they playing that show down south with Tsunami?
I don't know. Like, you're talking about the shows that got announced with like Downpresser?
Yes, I think they're playing one of the Bay Area ones.
Yeah, I don't think I saw them on any of the lineups down here down south, because there's the LA one 1720 with Downpresser, which is sick. I don't think so.
Okay.
But I wish one day.
I think one day they will. I'm sure they're going to blow up at some point.
I hope so. I tell everybody, I'm like, hey, listen to Summer Blue, or anybody that even listens to like that kind of like softer stuff. I'm like, check this band out. This band is awesome. Like, get in tune now, because if they continue to do what they're doing now, they'll be fine. People will know about them. But I'm just trying to get everybody on the hype train before it gets big.
Oh yeah. Everybody loves to be the demo person. So better get on it now.
Yes, get on. We're telling you now, Summer Blue, super sick band. Support every band up in the Bay right now. Like, yeah, we talked about Big Boy, Condition 1, Field of Flames. I hope they start doing more shows. I know they're coming down here in the summer for the Indecision 30-year records, so that's going to be sick. Obviously, you guys, Drain's going crazy. Drain's going to go on tour. Drain's playing in Orange County. They're hitting the Observatory. Yeah. Shout out Drain. Shout out Magnitude. Yeah,
Drain's new record is coming out on the same day as ours.
Dropping Friday, this Friday. There it is. The unity with Drain, Santa Cruz, and San Jose with Spinebreaker. That's awesome.
The Bay is going to be doing it big this Friday.
I've been telling everybody, man. You guys, I'm telling you, up there, what you guys are doing, it's insane. It's fun to watch, because you
do always put on for the Bay. I got to give you credit for that.
I try, just because I'm a legit fan. I appreciate the kindness, right? Not only the music, right? The music's fucking awesome, but everybody that I've reached out to, everybody that I've talked to is always so kind behind the scenes when they don't have to be. So I truly appreciate that.
Yeah, it's all for naught if everybody's a dick. Like, why would I? If you meet somebody and their band, and you like their band and they're a dick to you, like, I can't even tell you how many bands like I don't fuck with anymore because I met them and they were douchebags.
Yeah, just like, what's the point?
Yeah,
we're like, yeah, you're in a cool band, but you're still a person.
yeah, we're like, if you think of like how insignificant our music is, like our genre, to like the greater good of the world, like it's pretty small on that. It's like really only big in our lives. Mm-hmm. So just be a decent human, and we can all be friends. We can all be cool.
Yeah, and I feel like your scene's a good example. You guys are all, really friendly, really nice. Like I said, when you don't have to be, but you guys all put it on for each other. That's something that I think is really important. That you guys uplift each other, and I feel like that's a big reason why your scene is where it's at today. Is for you guys looking out for each other and putting on for your scene, and wanting the best for everybody, not just for one specific band, but for everybody. Just working in unison to build up, the Bay. Right, everybody knows RBS. It's crazy. It's cool.
Mm-hmm. Everybody knows RBS because we all put on for each other, and we can all eat. Like it's not. There's no money in this bullshit. Like this. There's no point in like trying to hog it all.
Yeah, so I hope more scenes, take a step back and look at what you guys are doing, and kind of take from that and know that it doesn't have to be crabs in a bucket. You guys can all grow and flourish together. Because you're right, like not having a famine mentality is the way to go, right? Because there is enough for everybody. Because when you think about the amount of bands that exist, it's like not everybody's only going to listen to a small group of bands. Everybody listens to everything.
Exactly.
So yeah,
exactly. Like if like something's coming out on the same day, like do you listen to one fucking record all day? No. You check out pretty much whatever you wanted to hear in the first place, you're going to listen to it. So like, it doesn't, none of that really matters.
Yeah. Or you can head over to Spotify, go boot up the Hardcore Caviar playlist.
Exactly.
Spinebreaker's on it. I don't know if you saw that. Special Forge is on there. I did see that. Yes. Yeah. Special Forge is on there. Which is curated every month by yours truly. So go support that. But Alex, I appreciate you taking the time to come on before the record. This has been awesome. Like I said, I'm happy to be able to have you on again. I'm a fan of Spinebreaker. I'm a fan of what you're doing. Hopefully you get the podcast back together. I appreciate you taking the time to do this today. But before we go, is there anything else you would like to say?
Listen to the bands from the Bay and from San Jose, or you're a bitch.
There it is. RBS. Shout out the Bay. Thank you, Alex. Get that EP together. I'll have you back on at the end of the year. Maybe we can get Elliot to come on to talk about the moon landing. That's something I really want to talk about.
There you go.
Shout out Elliot. Shout out Printhead. Shout out Tsunami. All that shit. It's awesome. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back soon. Goodbye.